Regulating the nervous system boils down to one thing: convincing your thinking mind that it's safe to relax. That's it. This one thing is arguably very, very complicated. The techniques that I'll share with you in this video do that one thing. However, so can a lot of things. A familiar song from your childhood or a familiar scent. Literally, there are so many things that can tickle your brain in just the right way to make it feel safe for you to relax. The better you know you, the more you can personalize your regulation techniques because you know what makes you tick or not tick. The techniques I'm about to share with you are pretty general and they're, I would say, a pretty good place to start. Of course, I am not a medical professional or a mental health specialist, so the techniques that I'm about to share are simply things that have worked for me and have worked for the people around me. So I figured, why not share so you can have access to them too? These techniques are going to be things that you can use in an emergency. So say you're on the brink of an anxiety attack or you're freaking out over something that your mind is playing over and over in your head. These techniques are really good to help you come back to the present moment, right here, right now, really quickly. But before I get into them, probably good to know what the nervous system is. In the simplest terms possible, the nervous system is the body's communications network. So your brain and your nerves work together in order to perceive and respond appropriately to the world around you. It does this super, super fast. It's a really, really quick system. If the algorithm has brought my face to your eyeballs through this video, chances are you're experiencing some dysregulation along the input and output line, or you're just looking up nervous system regulation tips. Either way, I got you. The tips that I'm going to provide for you today, though they can help with those slow burning symptoms of dysregulation, usually I use them when I'm freaking out or about to freak out, like something's happened and I cannot get my mind to stop thinking of worst case scenario. And so I'm about to panic or I'm in the midst of panicking. Okay, I've talked enough. Let's jump into it. Here are 5 things that you could do right away to help regulate your nervous system. Technique number 1. I don't actually know if there's a name for this. If you do know the name, drop it in the comment below. I call it attention, inhale, and release. So essentially what you're going to do is take a deep breath in. As you're breathing in, squeeze every single muscle that you can locate in your body. And on the exhale, allow everything to turn off or relax or melt away. So on your inhale, you're going to squeeze every single muscle, raise your shoulders to your ears. And then when you exhale, release your shoulders from your ears. Soften your tongue from the roof of your mouth, relax your jaw and furrow your brows, relax your toes, unclench your butt muscles. And I'll do that as many times as I need to in order to get myself to calm down. Now this does a couple of things right off the bat. First of all, it removes your mental activity from whatever is triggering a stress response and puts it onto your breathing. Secondly, it oxygenates your brain and helps you to refocus on the present moment. Third, it creates a rhythm. The brain likes rhythm. It helps create repetitiveness, which feels safe. Tip number 2. Gratitude. Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out, okay? This one works when what is triggering you is a situation where you can't physically tense up or breathe deeply because sometimes people take things the wrong way, So this one is completely mental. It's all in your mind. Nobody's going to know you're doing it. Nobody sees you're doing it. All you're going to do is think of everything that you're grateful for. What this does is it moves your attention from whatever the trigger is and puts it towards something with a higher frequency. So it could be the most simplest things. I'm grateful I have all 10 toes. I'm grateful I can walk. I'm grateful that I can breathe right now. I'm grateful that later when I go home, I can make my favorite meal. I'm grateful that I can stop at the store after this and grab ice cream. the simplest thing. It doesn't even have to be anything big. I'm grateful that I can hear the BS that this person is telling me right now. I'm not deaf. I can hear what they're saying to process it. Feel me? This works wonders in an office setting. This works wonders when you're having a difficult conversation with a person that you love, and you don't want to do anything to set them off or to set you off. This one, top tier. Thank me later. Top tier. I know it takes a lot of mental work, but I promise you, it helps. Big on serious. Sometimes I'll be in the middle of a difficult conversation and my gratitude technique involves me going, I am so grateful I don't have to live my life thinking the way this person thinks. And just like that, I'm regulated. So it could be anything. You could literally be grateful for anything. Just put your attention on something that you're grateful for. If you want to superset this gratitude technique, preface it with a breathing technique. It doesn't have to be one that requires you to tense yourself and release yourself. It could simply be box breathing. 4 counts to breathe in, 4 counts to hold, 4 counts to breathe out, 4 counts to hold. Once you've kind of gotten yourself from here to here, go ahead and try that gratitude thing. Promise you it's gonna bring you like here. The longer you do it, it'll bring you like here. If you're arguing with a partner and you go, I'm grateful for this person expressing the way they feel because that's telling me that they want to give me the opportunity to make it better. All of a sudden, you calm. Technique number 3. If you grab onto your ear right here, I got nails right now, so I can't do it. I'm going to put my finger in my ear and then I'll grab onto the bottom and pull down. So I have my finger in the hole, pause. I'm going to put the thumb at the back of my earlobe and then pull down and take some full deep breaths. So I want to breathe all the way into my belly and release everything that's in there. Pull my belly button to my spine on that exhale. This is going to help you to also calm down, and I will explain to you the science behind it because I know it sounds a little funny and you're definitely going to look a little funny doing it, but shoot, it's better to look funny than to fly off the rails. What this does is it stimulates your vagus nerve. Your vagus nerve runs down the sides of your neck here. It is one of the 12 cranial nerves in the body, and it's responsible for your autonomic nervous system. So the things that your body does without you thinking, like breathing, your heartbeat, digestion, things like that. So what pulling down on your ear and taking deep breaths does is it helps to switch your nervous system from sympathetic, which is your flight or fight responses, to parasympathetic, which is your rest and digest. That's where you want to be. That's where it's stress-free. Number 4. This one is also kind of a mental thing. I think I use this one the most, I'm not going to lie to you. 2 parts to this one. Part 1 is a mantra, part 2 is a breath. Or part 1 is a breath, part 2 is a mantra. It depends on how you want to look at it, to be honest. And how I like to do this is on my inhale, I'll repeat the mantra, I am in control of my responses. And on my exhale, I'll repeat the mantra, I am not responsible for anything else. So deep breath in. I am in control of my responses. I am not responsible for anything else. I am in control of my responses. In this moment, I am not responsible for anything else. And what this helps to do is it helps you to focus on what you can do and not what you can't do. Also, it brings you back into the present moment. I can take a deep breath and allow my mind to settle. I cannot control anything outside of me. This one's really empowering, I find, as well. Last tip, number 5. I saved this one for the end because it's going to require you to be somewhere private, so you might have to remove yourself from your trigger to do this one. And then once you're in a place where you can look a little crazy, because you're gonna look a little crazy, a lot of the times we get anxiety attacks because there is an accumulation of an emotion that has not been allowed to move. So if you can get yourself in a place where you can let that emotion move through your body, you can shake, you can jump, you can stomp, you can dance, you can scream if you need to, hum, you can hiss, running, something, whatever it is, that's going to help that to move as well. Of course, the best way to regulate is to have daily habits that prevent you from getting to the point of needing emergency regulation techniques, but it does come in handy when you have access to these emergency regulation techniques. You cannot really do anything to accumulate knowledge you haven't accumulated before, but if you have access to quick fixes, they do help in the moment. I feel like when I was having anxiety attacks, I would have loved to know some emergency techniques, because honestly, it's going to take some time to integrate the daily habits into your life. But if you know the emergency ones and your brain can remember them after you've watched this video, they will save you. I promise. They'll save you, just the energy of exerting, the feeling of regret after, you've gone unconscious and said something you didn't want to say or done something you didn't want to do. As simple as, I'm in control of me. I can't control anything else. Or as simple as a funny breath that does the trick, you know what I mean? If you like content like this and you'd like to dive a little bit deeper into nervous system regulation, subscribe to the channel, leave me a like, comment down below what you'd like to see, because I could talk about this stuff for hours. Literally, it brings me so much joy. Bye!